like him throwing terribly.
All right, let's see how bad this is.
Bro, they better not show him like throwing like 80-yard passes or something. Oh, dude, I see it on the reel on the Eric Kendrick
Is that
picks off Dak Prescott.
is that Dak Prescott that was running a route?
I don't know. No, he's in the
Well,
back.
Dak Prescott's number 4, I think.
Yeah, this is not him throwing terrible. Oh my!
That looked pretty bad. I mean,
dude, dude,
that looked pretty
Ian,
bad. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Ian, how do you think it? How do you think it makes you feel that Ty Badgent's better than Trey Lance?
Who's? Oh my God, he is like significantly better.
How does
Yeah,
it
dude.
feel?
At least Ty Badgett won 2 games, Ian. Trey Lance hasn't even won a game.
Trey Lance interception.
Oh my God. Game.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of curious to see this.
Oh
How
no.
bad. I forgot Trey Lance actually played for the
Ian,
49ers. I'm
you
not gonna lie
remember
to
when they
you.
were saying that he was gonna be like the best quarterback in the draft class? That draft class.
Yes, dude,
Yeah,
that draft class was fucking awful.
Fields and Fields and Lawrence were the best out of that class.
And Fields is a
and that's
bust.
not saying much. And Trevor
Yeah,
Lawrence is
yeah.
so
Fields
bad
was
that
a bust, and he still was better than fucking Trey Lance
Right.
and Zach Wilson.
all right, let's see what the comments are. What 45 people dislike this video?
Probably 49ers fan.
No, it's not. Even 49ers fans liked this because they were like, thank God he's gone. I'm curious to see what the
Oh, I
comments
see a
are.
Caleb Williams jersey on there. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, right here. There's a Saquon Barkley jersey right here.
That one's the Kelly Green one.
That is. It looks badass. I'm gonna get it at some
Dude,
point. I just bought a Paul Skeens
AJ,
jersey like 2 days ago.
how do you feel like about that one guy that was talking shit about the Eagles?
Which
What's
one?
his name? Nick.
Nick Wright? That's all he fucking does. I watch First Things First every day. All he does is
He
find a
said he
way.
won't trust the Eagles because the Eagles are out of the bubble because of he doesn't know how their quarterback
Yeah, he also thinks Caleb
plays.
Williams is going to win the fucking Super Bowl. So I would take his opinion with the heaviest grain of
No, he
salt.
didn't. He
He
just
didn't
said
predict it.
make the
He said
playoffs.
it could happen.
No, he said his Super Bowl prediction is Chiefs, Bears.
No,
That is
he didn't.
what he said. Dude, okay. We're going to pull the clip up because I now actually
No,
can
I
prove you.
swear to get AJ in that video. He said they were playoff. They were contenders for it, not guaranteed.
Well, I'm about to prove you wrong.
What?
Okay, that's
This
from
is like 5 years ago.
Oh my God,
AJ,
where's the clip from like a week ago? Oh my God.
that's the bubble one. That's the one you're talking
No,
about.
I'm thinking of one from like 3 weeks ago where he said this.
Ian, Nick
What?
Wright never said this.
All right, you know what? Okay, here
No,
we
he
go.
did
Yes, he did.
not.
Right here, right here, right here.
That's 2 months
Okay.
ago.
I
This is them
told you he
predicting
said this 2 months ago.
AJ, this is record prediction.
I don't care. If you were to tell me tomorrow, if you told me 3 weeks ago, after JJ McCarthy got drafted to the Vikings, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. JJ McCarthy's gonna take them there. I'd have called you a retard still, and I would hold that shit over your head till the day you died.
Oh my God. I still don't understand why you're saying he said they're going to the Super Bowl. He never said that. I can't hear anything.
What? How can you not hear this?
Yeah, I can't hear it.
What? Oh my God. This is ridiculous. Um
AJ, I don't want to take what you have to say because you predict the Eagles to go to Super Bowl every year.
Yeah, but that actually will happen. Unlike the
No.
Bears going to the
What?
fucking Super Bowl.
What do you mean?
Oh yeah, the Eagles have
You
Saquon
lost
Barkley.
to the last year you sure went to the Super Bowl.
All right, maybe me disconnecting my headphones so that way the audio plays through might help.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what you'll have to. Ian,
Okay.
Nick Wright never said the
Off the
Chiefs
board.
and the Bears are.
Can you hear it now?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna start over. You
Of
fuckers are gonna.
of the 7 teams projected to have the worst record in football, he gets 5 of them in the first 10 or 9 weeks of his career. New England, Arizona, Washington, the Panthers, and the Titans. That's 5 of his first 9 games. I think there's a 7-2 start is absolutely on the board, which is why, and this is my bold prediction. Forget guaranteeing the playoffs. No, I'm flirting with the idea. I'm asking the bartender.
Don't do that again. That's a crazy.
Does that take want a drink down there?
Oh,
I'm
God.
thinking about buying that. Asking that take
That's
out for dinner.
Some take at the end of the bar.
I think Caleb could lead the Bears to the Super Bowl in his rookie.
He said could.
Doesn't matter.
He said
Yes,
could.
it does. Yes,
Could
it
happen.
does.
That is far too big of an expectation.
He said could. He didn't
Even
say
suggesting
guarantee.
this is nuts, dude. Even in Peyton Manning's first year, he barely went. He was barely under 500, and this
AJ,
that they could go to the Super Bowl.
Jets. Hey, guess what? They said that about the Jets last year. If they were fully healthy, they
okay,
could
with
have won.
Aaron Rodgers at the helm, somebody's been in the NFL as long as we've been alive. So
Anyone could go to the
Super Bowl. That's not that
Super
crazy
Bowl.
to say.
Anyone could go to the Super Bowl, like Dallas could.
Not the Bears.
We
You're
don't
not even
know
the best
that
team
yet.
in your own division.
Did I
You're
ever
not.
say we were going to? He said could, and it was a bold prediction.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's still a stupid one. This man also said the Cowboys were going to go to the Super Bowl last year. Just saying. Like
They
he's a
looked like
Chiefs
it for a
fan.
while.
yeah, but the man comes around. And by the man, I mean the playoffs. And by comes, I mean shits. And by around, I mean in their pants.
Ian, it's like my prediction. I said the Packers could win the Super Bowl. That's my
It's
prediction.
stupid of you to say.
They could.
No.
I thought that was your prediction that the Packers would win.
Oh no, yeah, I know. I did predict that.
No,
okay.
the Packers are not going to go to the Super Bowl. It's going to be not maybe they'll make the NFC, but they're not beating Philadelphia or San Francisco.
Yes, they will.
No, they won't.
They have a way better defense now. They have a top 5 defense.
Yeah, so does Philadelphia. What's your point?
Hey.
No, they don't.
Logan, AJ also predicted until just recently he admitted to me that he was bullshitting. He was promising me that Biden would make a comeback and he would still win the election. And then he later admitted he was bullshitting so that he could be optimistic to
Now,
himself.
technically, I was right because Biden single-handedly stepping down was going to be the thing that gives the Democrats a win. So was I
You don't
lying?
know that.
Sure.
You
But was
don't
I
know.
wrong? No.
Oh, AJ,
You don't know
you're
if he's gonna win
guaranteeing.
or if she's gonna win.
You can't guarantee anything. That's like me and Ian guaranteeing Trump's gonna win. No.
All right. Here, real quick. So I'm gonna wave my hands here. Hi, we're starting the podcast now. Because we all here's what. So we've been talking about this clip from First Things First about the Bears going to the Super Bowl. Because Nick Wright literally just said that they were gonna go to the Super Bowl. And it
Good.
doesn't matter if he said I'm flirting with the idea. Okay, if you're married and you're like considering flirting with another woman, that's still not good. Like so.
Oh my God.
Depends.
AJ, you're
Did I just hear
you're
depends?
taking this way out of context.
It depends. Who the fuck?
Depends.
What the fuck?
Hey,
It
hey, guess
depends.
what?
It depends.
Hey, guess what?
What?
Tyreek Hill does it, so
No, Tyreek Hill beats his kids.
No, he flirts with other women.
Maybe
Yeah,
if
but
his
also
wife
beats
would
them too,
listen,
so.
do the dishes, honey.
Him and
You know,
And they
Antonio
don't do it,
Brown.
and then he hits them.
Him and
So-
Antonio. Didn't Antonio Brown just have a kid with another girl, Ian?
Oh my god, yeah,
That
he
poor
did.
woman.
That's like his sixth kid.
That poor woman.
Okay,
Antonio
we
Brown
can
is
all
a-
agree on Antonio Brown. He's a fucking idiot. But
Oh yeah, I mean he literally created CTESPN because he has CTE.
It's so funny.
he's literally single-handedly making himself look more like he has CTE himself.
Well, that's by design, though. I feel. I think he wants. I think he likes that reputation because it keeps him relevant.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about him right now, so it's obviously working. But
It's like AJ has CTE because he predicts the Eagles go to Super Bowl every year.
well, but the Eagles going to the Super Bowl, like regardless of how you feel about Philadelphia, they are going to have the most stacked offense in football, other than maybe San Francisco. Our defense is significantly improved. Vic Fangio is now calling the shots. And as I was talking to Ian about earlier today, Vic Fangio has criticized that he feels one of the reasons Philadelphia was really bad last year was because Sean Desai's conditioning routine absolutely sucked because it was the conditioning routine they used for the playoffs. And they're going to instead go back to a normal conditioning routine.
AJ, you have to understand, Sean Desai was the defensive coordinator under Matt Nagy his last year at the Bears. And you guys hired this guy.
Hey, I didn't hire him.
Your GM did.
Howie Roseman's a very smart man.
Besides the OC hire and DC
Hey,
hire.
didn't you guys sign DeAndre Swift after he did
he was a 1,000-yard rusher.
Yeah, behind Jason Kelsey.
So what? He's better than anyone we have in the backfield.
Yeah, well, still not good.
We would have got Saquon. It's literally in Hard Knocks.
No. Yeah, well, Chicago wanted Saquon, but they couldn't get Saquon because they're not
No,
good.
they were.
Yeah, I'm aware, but you guys aren't cool.
Because the Eagles were backing down and Saquon was signing with the Bears, and then the Eagles came back in.
Yeah, but then because what happened was his coach, or from like high school, I think, like told him you should go to Philly. You'll have much more success there. Because that's part of the tampering allegations that
yeah. Obviously he'll be more successful his first year at the Eagles to another team.
Yeah, because unlike Chicago, the Eagles are going to actually probably go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Yeah,
like,
right.
I don't know why everybody's like so high on like Detroit's going to the Super Bowl because like they're good, but if I'm picking anybody from the North to go to the Super Bowl, like I would be Green Bay.
The thing about Green Bay is they don't play good against the Lions.
Green Bay's got a good enough.
Besides the game last year on Thanksgiving, I think the Lions would have still beat the Packers if they made it to the NFC title.
No, they wouldn't have.
Yeah, they would have.
No, they wouldn't have.
The Lions?
Yes.
Yeah, they would have.
No.
They were beating the Niners. And then they choked.
No, they didn't choke. They actively gave the game away.
No, they choked.
Choking implies that.
Yeah, didn't they choke?
Packers?
No, the Lions and the NFC title.
Oh yeah, no, the Lions completely choked.
Well, I maybe my definition of choked is different. My definition of choked,
giving the game away
the game
is when you're
is
turning
like,
the ball over. Like they just couldn't move the ball. They weren't
well,
turning it
the
over.
first second half, San Francisco just ran the ball down their throat and they couldn't do nothing. That's not. Is that not just handing the game away? They practically did.
AJ, you're saying that the Lions got beat by the Packers, even though the Lions were the team that ended Rodgers' era in Green Bay.
Okay, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
The Lions still played good in Green Bay against them.
That would be like if you said, well, Dallas should have gone to the Super Bowl because they ended Tom Brady's career in Tampa. Like, what the fuck does that supposed to mean? Nothing. It just means that like that was Rodgers' last game was against the.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying the Lions still have played good against the Packers, though.
Yeah,
That's what
but
I'm saying.
you should tell me their record against the Packers, not well. Aaron, they because you're implying that Aaron Rodgers was like, "Fuck this, I'm going to the Jets," because the
No,
Lions
he wasn't.
down on him, and then he was like, "Fuck this, I'm
It
leaving."
was Ian. It was because of the defense. It had nothing to do with Rodgers. Besides him not like overthrowing wide out 1 or 2 plays that they were wide open.
No, in what game? The Detroit game, the last
Yeah.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when
that
they
was-
had to win again in the playoffs.
I mean, nobody played well in that game.
It wasn't on right. I'm not saying
No,
the
and
Bears
also
have a
we
very
had,
good old time.
Well, and we had Quay Walker, who on the 3rd down he shoved the trainer.
Yeah, and then they scored on that drive.
Right. Yep.
DeAndre Swift scored whatchamacallit. He scored a touchdown. Yeah.
Forget what
But
those.
the Bears have a better all
You know what? That's fair.
all-time
You are a
record
Bears
against
fan.
the
You probably don't
Lions.
know what a touchdown looks like.
He will this year, that's for sure.
Yeah, Caleb
Yeah.
Williams actually looked pretty good in training. I saw the Bears posted some video of him throwing, and it actually looked pretty solid. But also, that's not really. I don't know why people do this because like Eagles fans were posting like videos of Hurts throwing, and they're like, "Well, he did really good in training." I'm like, "Yeah, everybody does." Except for
we
Trey
said
Lance,
that, like we said the one time.
yeah, Trey
Like we
Lance
said,
apparently-
AJ in the one time. They
What?
said Kenny Pickett was doing better in training camp.
Yeah, for like a day, and then they
and then the Eagles fans are like, they need to get rid of Hurts or whatever. And it's like,
Well,
oh.
Eagles fans are like a magic 8 ball. You shake them and they have a different opinion. It's
Well,
stupid.
the Vikings have a big problem in their quarterback room.
No, they don't. Sam Darnold's gonna be the quarterback, and JJ.
Oh my God. Stop with him.
Dude, I'm just saying that was their plan all along. They basically said JJ McCarthy's never gonna.
He's
start.
not even ready. And
Who,
he'll
Darnold or
have to go
McCarthy?
in.
Who are you
JJ
talking about,
McCarthy,
Darnold or McCarthy?
Darnold's gonna start, but he's not gonna start the whole season.
Do you think he makes it through the first 8 weeks, AJ, without getting benched?
No,
Who? Darnold?
Sam Darnold.
Who else do they have?
McCarthy.
JJ McCarthy.
Yeah, exactly. They're not gonna put him in
Well, they have no choice.
unless they
Yeah.
unless there is a significant improvement in McCarthy between now and week 8, which I personally do not think is going to happen. The Vikings are going to play Sam Darnold from now till the end of the year, even if he sucks. Because why? They need JJ McCarthy needs a year to get kind of used to everything. Maybe they'll, if they're in a blowout game, they'll put him in. But
Want to take a bet on that because I bet that by week 10, JJ McCarthy is starting.
that would be stupid. Look,
No, I bet he
Caleb Williams starting from day one at the very least makes sense because, like, look, I don't know if this is the right way to put it, but I'm going to say it anyway. He's in California and he was under a lot more scrutiny. And also, with JJ McCarthy, this is going to sound kind of weird, but he was not their whole offense. And I was kind of confused when everyone was like when the guy from Barstool, Dave Portnoy, or I don't give a fuck to pronounce his name right.
Yeah,
but
Portnoy. Yep.
yeah, he was like, this is the greatest college football team of all time. And I was
No,
like,
it's not.
JJ McCarthy, like, listen, he did his job properly. They won the championship. But Michigan was a good example of you don't always need a top 5 quarterback to win a title. Like,
Yep.
you just need a good offensive scheme, like, and the right players to execute it. Like, that's really
Any Alabama team that won a national title was better than that Michigan team.
They won a national title with Jake Coker at quarterback.
well, Nebraska.
Remember him? Nobody
Because, like,
does.
Nebraska.
Yeah,
Because-
I remember Jake. But the thing is I told Ian this is Ian was very high on JJ McCarthy. Well, McCarthy had he was a good accuracy, but I told Ian his vision was bad.
Well, let me tell you,
He doesn't read downfield very good.
here's what we should do. Ian should be forced to have to put JJ McCarthy on his fantasy team in a roster spot the entire year. And if Ian backs out, it's because Ian's stupid.
No, because I don't think he'll be very good when he plays or when he
Yeah,
starts. the season,
Ian
but he
Ian
will start
already
the-
said that he didn't think he was going to be a good NFL quarterback.
No, I don't think he
Well,
will.
and that's why, like, because again, if Hunter were here, he'd be able to like kind of chime in, maybe say like why we're overblowing this. But I really do think Minnesota is like made the wrong choice because they could have traded up, or they could have drafted Bo Nix.
The thing is they should have traded up to the Falcons spot and drafted Penix.
That would have actually been a good
Yeah.
pick.
Agreed.
Because
Well, I think
okay,
that
I trust Penix starting right away more than him at the Falcons because he would have Justin Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson.
Well, because then you know what they could have done was then because McCarthy would have then it could have been gone to Atlanta, where then he would have been mentored by Kirk Cousins.
Who even knows if Kirk Cousins is fully healthy? Because obviously they don't think his Achilles fully healed.
Well, even Atlanta doesn't think he's healthy. What the fuck do you think they drafted Penix?
Yeah, no, yeah, that's
because they're
yeah.
under the impression that Kirk's probably not going to play for the full year. Like, I would be willing to bet you every dime I have that Atlanta had before the draft, because apparently nobody knew they were drafting a quarterback. Because also apparently Penix never visited Atlanta.
he didn't.
No, that's what made this nuts. That's
I
why
did not know that.
Well, because that's why when Adam Schefter was talking, because the draft was on ESPN, Schefter was talking right before the pick, and he was like, "I've been hearing that like they're gonna take a quarterback." And even like I think I don't remember who the main people who were talking, like the commentators in between, but one of them was like, that would be weird, like if they took a quarterback. And like that was when I texted Ian, or I think I texted him group chat, like they just said Atlanta's taking a quarterback, and I think it was Ian who was like, not a fucking chance.
Atlanta should have took Rome Odunze.
Well,
Here,
I
I
thought that
look
they
up
were going to
exactly what
take
Ian
Dallas.
said.
Well,
Dallas Turner.
yeah,
Look
from
how
Bama.
far Dallas Turner dropped, Ian. You remember?
Well, I know that was bullshit.
Then he went to the fucking Vikings, which is actually a good pickup for the Vikings.
Okay, so here's what here's what I sent. Falcons take a QB? Question mark. Ian, no fucking way. Lol, they have Kirk.
Yeah.
Well, Ian told me too that he's like, there's no way here at this pick they pick a quarterback. And I'm like, Ian, I think they are.
Well,
Yeah. I mean, I totally did not believe it. And then I love how in the press conference after, they were literally saying like, "Oh, like, we want to follow like the Green Bay model here," and it was like, "Homie, you are not Green Bay. Never have been. You're probably not going to be."
Okay, what round was Jordan Love drafted in?
The first round, we traded up to him in the first
round.
round.
End of the first round.
Oh,
Yep.
well, okay, so if
but Jordan Love is different though.
Well, yeah, but like Jalen Hurts was drafted in the third round.
What?
Jalen Hurts was drafted in the third round.
Second.
Oh, second. Oh, okay.
Yeah, second.
Well, okay. Well, I'll take my Eagles stuff down now. Because clearly I'm not a fan. But
when
like,
was Carson Wentz drafted? Oh,
first.
Yeah. like number 3.
I remember because that was a huge deal because when Philadelphia was really pumped because they thought that he was the future. And to be fair, I thought the same thing at the time.
Yeah.
Till he tore his ACL.
Yeah, well, I mean, he was having an MVP year, his second year, right?
Yeah.
Up until week 10 there when he tore his ACL.
Well,
I mean, he was for MVP.
He also had LaShawn McCoy.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, I'm gonna blank on this wide receiver's name.
Eddie McCoy was overrated at that. No.
Was Deshaun Jackson still there?
Shady McCoy was not there. They had LeGarrette Blount.
They did? No, Shady was on the team.
No, he was on the Bills.
That year.
He was on the Bills. Shady McCoy was overrated at the end of his career. The Eagles basically made his career. It's true.
Okay, you know what? I'll take the L on that. I totally thought he was on that team.
No, because
I did too.
LaShawn McCoy, Shady McCoy was only under Andy Reid, I thought.
Well, I also want to see who
Oh wait, no, he was under Chip.
Chip Kelly. Yeah, under Chip
And
Kelly.
and maybe Andy, I don't know, for like a year.
Here, I forget the.
Oh my God, Ian! You remember Chip Kelly on the Eagles? Let's go.
No,
Dude, that guy is
no.
a
I will kick you
total
both out of
mess.
this call.
He fucked that up.
Dude, it's
He Chip Kelly
hey,
fucked that
Alshon
up.
Jeffrey. Alshon Jeffrey.
Oh yes,
When you've got Alshon Jeffrey as one of your wide receivers, like your job is
and Zach Ertz, like prime Zach Ertz.
Oh
Yep.
God, Zach Ertz. How I love you, Zach Ertz.
Prime Zach. Well, that's the and they had Trey Burton who was pretty good. And
Yeah.
they had Blunt, and they had Sproles, and they had
I forgot Darren Sproles. Man, maybe I should just rewatch the 2017 Super Bowl again. It's been a few years since I've seen it.
yeah. Well, they had that guy from Wisconsin, Clement, I think, and he was
Clement?
the running back.
Well, what was I gonna say? Because what was like Carson Wentz was good. It's just the problem was I can't remember who said the ACL, but once that ACL tear happened, like Carson Wentz because apparently he had an ego, but when the Eagles were winning, they were like, all right, fuck yeah, we fuck with this guy. And then Nick Foles won them the Super Bowl. And then after that, they all hated him because he sucked after that. And this is a true story. The Eagles, to piss off Carson Wentz, built a shrine to Nick Foles in front of Carson Wentz's locker.
I did not know that. Holy shit.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
That is wild.
Because they were so pissed. They hated him. Because that was why Jalen Hurts was drafted. Because it was kind of like an intimidation move to Carson Wentz of like, we don't need you. And it fucking worked. In fact, I would argue our team got much better after Carson Wentz left. I'm not saying it's not a coincidence that whenever Carson Wentz is not there, we go to a Super Bowl. Whether he's hurt or in Indianapolis or in Washington for some reason. I don't know why they wanted him, but yeah, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to go right on to our topic for this week, which is the AFC West East. Jesus Christ. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with this. But so Logan, we're gonna start off with you. What do you got for your AFC East predictions?
All right, so I have the Dolphins winning the division at like 11-6. I think the Dolphins, they have this division's kind of weak besides them, the Bills, or the Jets, I think are close, and that's why I put them at second, because the Jets are coming back. Aaron Rodgers hopefully healthy all year.
Okay, so Miami and New York.
And then the Bills. And then obviously New England is last.
That's fair.
But I'm in a toss-up between Miami and the Jets because I think it'll go to like the end of the season for the race who wins that division.
But Logan, they paid Tua Tagovailoa $200 million, so
but
I'm the better quarterback.
The Dolphins' secondary is their defense did not improve. They lost a lot of guys.
And Vic Fangio.
And I could see them falling apart at the end of the year and then the Jets winning the division. But just like I think whoever wins that division, it'll be between them and the Jets because Buffalo lost like what? They lost Stephon Diggs, they lost
Gabe Davis.
And they lost a lot of guys on defense.
Yeah, so I mean they lost 2 Pro Bowl corners on defense too.
Oh, White. What's his name?
Was like
something
Tre'Davious White.
and
Yeah.
White and oh my god, who was
Oh
that?
my god. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you. Let's see what the end of the Jets schedule looks like, because that could kind of determine if I agree with what
I
you're.
say the last game, that Jets Dolphins game, the last game of the year, that'll decide who wins.
That's
the
that's
division.
that doesn't seem like too crazy of a take, especially since the now. Okay, so here's what we don't know how good the Colts are going to be this year. Because if Anthony Richardson is as good as marketed, then they should probably be an above 500 team this year. I mean, they basically were a playoff team last year. They got like kind of robbed, not robbed, but like they were like much like Ian in our fantasy football league, right there. Right there. Poor Colts. So they've actually, you know what's funny? They've got the Dolphins twice in the final stretch. Kind of like what the Eagles do with New York. I don't know why it's always New York specifically, but like every year we got them at like our last like three, like within the last 4 weeks, we played them twice. I don't know who decides it to be that way, but fuck whoever decides that, because that's a really weird thing to do. But so do we think the Rams are going to be good? I think we said yes.
Yes.
I think
Yes.
most of us had them in second place in
Yep.
the NFC West. And then
Yep,
the
I do.
Jaguars we have not gotten to, but surprise take that I will save for next week. I actually think the Jaguars are going to have their bounce back this year. And I think it's going to be close between them and the Texans. So I think that'll be a tough one.
Yeah.
I
The
can see
thing
that.
is the Jets, they'll sweep the New England, they'll go split with the Bills, and I think they'll split with the Dolphins.
I think if the Bills, okay, so I don't know what's going on with Brandon Ayuk right now, but I'm going to throw this out there right now. If the Bills are smart, they would make every available dollar they can throw and throw it in his general direction, because if they got a Brandon Ayuk, I'm going to put them
Oh
back.
yeah.
I'm going to put them in Super Bowl contention.
That is something that wherever Brandon Ayuk goes, but that is definitely a sleeper trade to watch.
Yeah,
That's
because
why I think the Jets have, it will all depend on how Nathaniel Hackett calls the plays next
no,
year.
it's going to be Aaron Rodgers who calls the plays. Or let's be
Well,
real here.
if they use Brees Hall a lot more, their offense will be more high powered. But
Yeah.
that won't happen.
Well, and I tell you what, if Brees Hall ends up a top 3 running back this year in fantasy, I think Ian's gonna probably have
Oh my
God whacked.
Oh,
That was so funny last year. Poor Ian was like banking on Brees Hall being good, and then they fucking never used him.
But the thing
even
is,
though like they had Zach Wilson and what's his name?
He sucks.
Alan Lazard,
Yeah, and then
Alan
the
Lazard,
other guy there,
Yeah.
who was just there because he was Aaron Rodgers' friend.
yeah,
And
Alan Lazard,
they,
yeah.
And they were literally the worst 2 quarterbacks in the league.
I'm so
And
glad
they
I
still
came
used
up.
Oh, Tim Boyle.
Yeah, yep, that's right, Tim Boyle.
Oh my god, Tim Boyle was so bad. Didn't he throw a pick 6 on a Hail Mary?
Yes.
That's funny. I mean, Hail Mary's usually a quarterback will throw a pick, but
So,
like
AJ,
pick 6 is special.
We know the Dolphins have the best wideout core in this division. Then it goes Jets, Bills, and then New England has the worst wideout room in the whole entire league.
Yeah, they have a good quarterback, but they don't have a good wide receiver room. So I think you wait a year before you start really.
Drake May is set up to fail, and it's bad because he's a project, and they have no one. And Gerard Mayo's like, "Oh yeah, we got to build around the quarterback, but all they do is build up their defense." That's how it's been.
My division predictions here for
this so we'll go to Ian next.
Is I'm gonna go with the Jets in first. And I'm gonna go with the Jets in first at 11-6 or 12-5.
Yeah,
I
just to
know,
give our audience context real quick, Ian touches himself to photos of Aaron Rodgers, just in case anybody needs to know that information.
That's why
Not
he
denied.
moved to the chair because he's looking at pictures of him.
he moved to the chair because he didn't want us to see the naked photos of Aaron Rodgers he had on the left-hand side of the screen.
It's honestly because Aaron Rodgers is the background for my computer screen. So, yeah.
Well, see, there we go. So we were right.
So do you think?
But anyway, so I want to jump into their schedule here. So week 1, they got the 49ers, and Aaron Rodgers does struggle there in the 49ers stadium and against 49ers
Yeah,
in general.
you go to their schedule.
Week 1, I think that's probably a loss. That's also, I think, Monday Night Football. Oh my God, yeah. So the Jets start on Monday Night Football again.
That's
the
a
Jets
loss.
here have 6 primetime games this season.
That's
so they are really
ridiculous.
banking on the Jets.
So the New England game, that's
The NFL is.
another. Is it a Sunday night or Monday night? Monday night, I think.
No,
Yeah, so
the Patriots game. Which one?
No, week 3.
yeah,
Oh,
week
yeah.
3.
Well, okay.
No.
Can we talk about real
But-
quick? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt you, Ian, but like the Jets are gonna interrupt because they play a Monday night game or a Sunday night game the week the Eagles and the Cowboys play. The Eagles and Cowboys are not going to be in prime time this year. Not fucking once.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
That's stupid as hell. Like that's like the biggest rivalry in pro football.
So
getting national television.
So the Jets lose week 1, then Ian, I would say they win the
I
next
think
3.
after that they win the next. Well, so beat the Titans. The Patriots are going to be the worst team in the league. The Broncos might be
were the
worst team
second
in the league. The Vikings are going to be bad, and so let's look at these here.
4-1.
The Broncos and Vikings there, you very well might be facing 2 rookie quarterbacks there with Bo Nix and JJ McCarthy. They're back-to-back weeks.
Well, okay, let's not.
And
let's
so then you're
Sam
starting
Darnold.
off the season here. Let's see here.
No, well, Ian,
You're at least 4-1.
That's week 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's week 5. We're assuming at the earliest McCarthy will start week 8. So let's assume it's Darnold at that point. They're not going to be much better, but let's assume it's Darnold.
Okay, well, yeah, that's fair. But I'm saying it's possible that you are
Possibly.
facing 2
Yeah.
rookie quarterbacks at that time,
And then
and that bodes well for a Jets defense that was still number 8 in the league last year overall, despite being on the field all the time because their offense could not stay on the field to save their lives.
Yeah, and then the Bills. Bills.
I think that is a win there just because it's at home there in New York. I think they dropped that one to Pittsburgh, and then they're gonna beat the Patriots again.
6.
I'm gonna give them the loss here against the Texans. Really high on the Texans this year.
All right, so then are we gonna assume the Cardinals, Colts, and Seahawks are all wins?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
then the Dolphins is the next tough one. What do you think about that one?
They lose that one.
Yeah, I think that one's a loss because I think they beat them at home because when the Dolphins play in cold weather, which New York, they're guarantee you that game there.
This one's in
January
Miami.
5th.
What?
This one's in Miami.
But
No,
we're saying that
I know,
January
but,
5th.
I'm talking like the last one there. The Dolphins always struggle terribly at the end of the year, especially when they're playing in cold weather.
They should do their training camp in Antarctica.
Yeah, and New York's going to be the coldest of those games.
Well, actually, it's funny you bring that up because the Dolphins also play the Bills. You know what? I'm gonna just pull it up while you're talking, but I think the Dolphins play the Bills.
So they beat the Jags. I think.
Yeah,
they beat them.
I think they beat
I'm
the
actually
Jags
gonna
there.
say that's a TBD. I want to see how the Jags do early on in the season.
Yeah,
Early, if they do
I
well
think
early,
they
I think
lose to
might
the
be on a
Rams,
comeback.
though. I think
And
they
then
dropped
so-
to the Rams.
That one there, I think they lose to the Rams and the Bills there, and then so that one against the Dolphins is tricky there. You're on a short week. Likely you're looking at only like 4 days of practice there. That's going to be tougher.
Hold on, Ian. This
but-
game's in New York against the Rams, and it's in the cold. So
That doesn't matter.
I
I
think
think the Rams are still a playoff team, though.
No, Miami's the one that's generally struggles with the colder weather. Like Los Angeles, not really a team. Like for college football, I would argue it's going to be a lot more of a difference, but not pros. Like for Miami, like Miami's the only pro team that's like, oh, they're a summer team because they only play well when it's warm out. Like, but yeah, no, I would actually argue that the Rams one that shouldn't play a factor in whether or not the Jets win that one.
They typically do play okay still in cold weather, but the Dolphins really do not. And then I think they dropped that one to the Bills. That's going to be a really important game for the Bills, I think, at that time. And then they beat the Dolphins there, so they finish at 11-6.
Yeah,
is what I'm going.
Okay,
I
all
think
right, so
the
then,
ceiling is 12-5 though.
all right, so but
And
so
then second, I'm going to go with the Dolphins at 10-7, or 11-6. But I'm leaning 10-7 here. Again, so I just want to. So I mean, their front of the schedule is pretty favorable here. You're starting off with
The
Jags, Bills, favoring those. Seahawks, Titans, Patriots, Colts,
they
Cardinals.
they could be 4-0. I would say 3-1.
Got the Raiders, but my
they'll lose
huge
one of those
concern
games.
for him here is I think they're like first 8 weeks, so they're going to be like 7-1. Actually, I think by like week 12 they could be like 10-2. Okay.
So, quick question: of the first 4 games, because we mentioned that they'll go 3-1. Which one are they more likely to lose? Jacksonville?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, because I don't. The Seahawks.
It's gonna take
and Seattle. That could be. I don't. Is Sam Howell going to be starting, or is Geno Smith going to be starting?
No, it doesn't matter who's going to be starting because here's the thing: it's the Seahawks without one of the best defensive coaches of all time. It's not
I agree.
Yep. So you think the Seahawks are terrible then?
Yeah,
I think they're going like 7-10 or 6-11.
I care. I'll have to go back and watch that podcast, but I'm all but positive I had to see.
Okay, I wasn't in that one, so but obviously, yeah, I think the Dolphins would still beat Seattle. They would lose to the Jags.
So I'm gonna say like first 12 games here, they're like 9-3 or 12-2.
Yeah, and I think their back half is pretty
10-2.
favorable.
But so let's go after that Patriots game there. They are at Green Bay. They face the Jets. And they got
they're playing in Green Bay in November. Fuck
yeah, that's a loss.
That's a cold ass game.
And then they got the 49ers, and then they're going at the Browns, and then they are at the Jets in New York.
Loss. So you have them losing the last 3 games then, Ian?
I think that they lose. Yeah,
they'll lose to Cleveland because it's in it. Ian, they have back-to-back road games in the cold.
Right. Yep.
So
I mean, like those were the coldest cities there to play in. And
I think they do scratch though. They could beat the Texans though.
So
so let me
issue with those last 2 games there is
that's
not only them playing in cold weather. There were Tua really struggles in cold weather, and we've seen him before playing in Green Bay. Did not go well for him.
So let me ask the question real fast. Do we
they're facing 2 top 5 defenses, or no, 3 in the last
Niners,
3 weeks.
The Browns and the Jets.
Yeah. Those all very well could be top 5 defenses.
The Browns are the best defense.
Right.
And then the Niners are top 5, and then the Jets are top 8.
Yep.
So
Jets are top 32.
And so I mean, I think they lose 4 of their last 5 there. And that's where I have them going 10-7. Is that last stretch is brutal, and they've done this before where they lose like 5 to 6 down the stretch. They did it last year. They lost, like games like the Titans and these other teams that were not making the playoffs. And then the year before that, they were like 8-1 and lost like 6 or 7 straight. So yeah, I mean, this is what
Terrible.
the Dolphins do here in the playoffs.
Oh, then like we don't even need to predict the Patriots schedule. We already know.
Yeah, I
Well,
think the Bills go
that one
9.
doesn't matter. But like,
I
I'm
think the
gonna
Bills
say
go 10-7, but it takes some time to get, for Josh
Yeah.
Allen to get used to all those new wide receivers. And I will say because there's a big argument going on if Josh Allen's if he's in the same stratosphere as Patrick Mahomes. This is his year to prove it because this year is literally all on him.
I would
This year is
argue
literally all on
he
Josh
is.
Allen.
He has a rookie quarterback. He had wide receiver. I mean, he
Yep.
has Curtis Samuel, and he has Dawson Knox and Dalton Kincaid, and who the fuck or Delvin Cook's brother, James Cook.
Oh
So
yeah,
who I don't even know their third wideout
right.
unless they like pick up Ayuk and then he'll be their one.
And
But
so
Ayuk's never been a wide receiver one
no, and
on a team yet.
so I do love what they did in the draft. I thought they drafted well on defense, but still, I mean, it's going to take those guys. It's going to take Josh Allen time to adjust with those young receivers. It's going to take time for a younger, reshaped defense to adjust, and a new offensive coordinator now there. Yeah, that's going to take time to adjust. But I still think that Josh Allen is just great enough to give him to 10-7. We don't need to look at the Patriots schedule. I'll throw out one fact here, and you guys can react how you may. The
What?
Patriots are not favored in a single game this year.
What?
They are not favored in a single game.
No,
Not
they're
one.
not.
Wait,
Not a single game.
well, okay, maybe the Titans.
No.
Well, yeah. I know, but like they're still not favored.
The
Now-
Bears are
Okay,
the
let me ask
Bears
you a
are
question.
like
How
an
do you
8.5
know
point favorite.
What?
How do you know this?
Because I was looking through the Patriots odds earlier to see like how bad it was, and they're not favored in a single game, according to MGM in Vegas.
Well, that's if it's MGM, then I would bank on. Well, actually, any major casino throwing out odds, I generally tend to trust because they want to make money. And
Yeah.
so, like
Ian, I'll tell you the Bills wide out core. They have
Okay.
MVS. Their
MVS.
top three are
Don't get me started on that guy.
we're saying their top three. MVS, Curtis Samuel, and Keenan Coleman, and then they do have Chase Claypool.
Oh my!
And they picked up they have that Khalil Shakir, I think that's how you say his name, from last year.
Yeah, Shakir,
And they picked up Mac Hollins. But still, this is Mahomes had a worse wide receiver core almost than that.
right. And this
At
is
least-
the year if Josh Allen wants to prove that he's in the same stratosphere as Patrick Mahomes.
It's exactly the
this is time to
same.
prove it.
A first round rookie wide receiver like Rashid Rice and then Keenan Coleman. And then the Chiefs had no one. They had MVS and they had Kadarius Toney, who is trash.
Well, I'm
True.
very high on Keon Coleman. He had a great year at Florida State, and I think he's a very pro-ready wide receiver.
And the Bills' offensive line, I looked, they got a guard from Dallas who started like 3 or 4 years, and he's pretty solid. So, and they got both their tackles back and their guards. So
well, okay.
talking about
Here's
the offensive line. I want to jump back to the Jets for just a second here.
But here, actually, before you do
This
that,
is my concern about the Jets.
wait, Ian, we need to get to the other. So we got the other two. I just got the text from Will about his predictions. So we'll throw out his and Hunter's because I want to get your guys' reaction to Will's specifically because he has a very interesting take. But Hunter has the Jets, the Bills, the Dolphins, and the Patriots. He did not include games. And then Hunter, who Will has New England at 3-14, the New York Jets at 7-10, the Buffalo Bills at 10-7, and the Miami Dolphins at 11-6.
what was the Patriots again?
3-14.
Oh, okay.
They're a little high.
No, wait, no, I went backwards.
I okay. I
What
hate
was
to be
his-
this negative on them.
I intentionally went backwards because
I-
I wanted to save that. I wanted that Jets reveal at number 3 to be even funnier.
I
But
think the Patriots are going 1-16 or 2-15.
that'll be funny. But
I think it's that
so
bad.
I want to throw this out there. I have two
I
sets
think
of
it's that
predictions.
bad.
I think I
They're
have two.
worse than the Panthers, Ian.
Yes, because I think the Panthers win 4 games.
So I actually I'm pissed off at Will because I have 2 predictions and he picked one of mine precisely, and that is I have one for if Brandon Ayuk goes to Buffalo, which is Miami, Buffalo, New York, and then New England, and then if Brandon Ayuk does not end up in Buffalo, it'll be Miami, New York, Buffalo, and New England.
AJ, what was your record prediction again for the Dolphins?
I have them at 11-6 roughly, and I think the Bills and
Okay.
the Jets are going to be roughly
think-
right at each other's throats.
So that last stretch for the Dolphins there again, though, those last 5-6 games, what do you think their record is out of
Well,
that?
here's the problem. So I honestly think that like the Dolphins because here's what this middle of the season here they have a chance to go on a bit of a streak because
Oh, yeah.
and I think that could like kind of get them some momentum going into Lambeau, which again I'm not assuming they're going to win that game against the Packers. In fact, I think they'll lose that one. But like I think because they're going to play the Jets at home, they'll win that one. And then I think they'll beat the Texans, but it'll be a close game. And then the 49ers, now this to me is where their entire season is going to be defined if they beat the Niners. If they can beat San Francisco, then I'm just going to throw this out there, they're Super Bowl contenders.
Yeah.
I would honestly at that point argue that they like unironically could very easily be the AFC's representative. And that's also but also their other biggest test, because that game's at home, mind you, and their other biggest test will be against the Browns, and it's in these 3 weeks. In my opinion, if they even win 2 of these,
Yeah.
then without a question, like because and you know what, I will also say this: if the Dolphins can just win the division. And if they have an 11-6 record, they'll be dancing right next to the Chiefs. Because fun fact, they don't play Kansas City a single time in this season, so they don't have to worry about Kansas City at all this year. So all they really need to do is just be right around where the Chiefs are and get the 1 or 2 seed, and then they can cruise their way right to the AFC.
You think that 11-6 is good enough to get you the 2 seed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Ian, the Dolphins secondary is actually not bad.
I was about their defensive line.
They have Marcus May from the Saints, and they have Javon Holland, who's been and they picked up Jordan Poyer from the Bills. And they have Jalen Ramsey. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah, so that's why I think
I
the
forgot about that
Dolphins, I honestly think that, look, Mike McDaniel has made it very clear that, like, as a part of training,
Dude, their offensive line is terrible. I looked at the roster. Sorry.
well, that's fine, but like, here's what
Oh my
I've been
God.
listening to a lot of, because for those who don't know, I work for Amazon as my day job, and I have about 10 or 11 hours where I'm just sitting in a van with headphones. So I've got nothing better to do. So what do? I listen to like press conferences because I get really fucking bored. So like the Dolphins, I believe Mike McDaniel has made it clear that they're going to try to find ways through training to kind of work through their cold issues. Like,
Yeah.
So, like, I believe Mike McDaniel when he says that. Now, I don't think they're going to turn around and all of a sudden become like, oh my God, they're invulnerable to the cold, because nobody is. And here's what, I'm sick and tired of everybody giving the Dolphins all this shit about losing to the Chiefs in the first round of the playoffs. I'm sorry, most NFL teams couldn't handle that weather. Even the fucking Chiefs couldn't. The only reason the Chiefs won that game is because they have better coaching. Because when
That
it's
is not the only reason.
No, their defense.
They're
Their
the best quarterback on the planet. Who might be the best quarterback of all
okay,
time?
but when it's that cold out, you can't drop bombs. Like you have to be a lot smarter about how you call your plays because your hands,
They also have the
AJ,
better
the
running
elements of the
back.
game,
AJ,
do not
pull up
work.
the stats for this game, and
All right.
pull up the stats for the game. And Mahomes had decent stats.
I'm not saying he didn't. I'm just saying it like you have to kind of
The
scheme your
Chiefs
play.
didn't struggle. They scored 30 points, I thought.
I thought they scored like 28 or 24.
Yeah, whatever, 28. 26-7.
Oh my god! Why? I thought that game was a lot closer than it for some
No,
reason.
no, it was never close.
Here, let's pull up the stats.
Yeah, so Ian was right. He said 28. But
I don't know. In my opinion, when it comes to a game like that, where a lot of the main ways that you would normally score, especially if you're Miami, where you're a pass heavy team,
Mahomes, AJ, Mahomes almost had 300 yards. How is that? He didn't.
Well, but okay, but you have to remember, like 300 yards does not mean he was throwing like 4 verticals every fucking time. Short passes, like flips,
Rashid Rice had 130 yards.
Yeah, but I'm not saying he did.
receptions.
But how many of those were like 40+ yard passes?
Well, they don't have to be, but you also got to recognize that for one,
Mahomes still put up that many yards.
No
Well,
one's being
okay, I
chased
think I
that
just kind of
much.
proved myself.
Negative degree weather, AJ. Negative.
Well, okay. So here's what's nuts about this. So I actually get the scoring summary of the game. So like 11-yard pass.
The Chiefs only scored 2 touchdowns, rushing and receiving from Rice.
Yeah, Butker really saved their ass.
Yeah, because it was a kick field goal fest.
Yeah, so then I'm not technically wrong that like in a situation like this that like you might get 262 yards, but like when you're in the cold, you're not scoring a lot of points because like although I did this kind of proves me wrong right here. This 53-yard pass from Tua to Tyreek. Like, oh my god, that's nuts. I don't know how you pull that off in the cold. That's kind of crazy, actually.
But the thing, AJ, it wasn't all because better coaching. It's because the offense for the Chiefs had long drives. They had a 5-minute drive, a 6-minute drive, a 7-minute drive. That's when a defense can't fucking stop you. Especially Pacheco.
Well, here's the thing. Is when it's that cold out and it's hard because, like, listen, when it's hard to grip your hands, you can't do a lot of passing, and there's not a whole lot you can do on the sidelines to stop that from happening. So, like, you kind of have to scheme around your problems there. And one of those problems is, well, we can't just like, I mean, okay, maybe you can drop 53-yard passes, but like you're not gonna be able to do that every time. So like, I guess like the way I see it was that Andy Reid clearly understood the assignment a lot better than Mike McDaniel did. And that's why he was able to get 26 points and why Miami scored only a touchdown. Like, I don't think it's a coincidence. But here's what also though. So back onto just the AFC West in general. I actually think the Patriots in like a year or so, I think they'll be good. I think they'll be fine. I think like because the Jets Super Bowl window after this year, like in my opinion,
yeah.
Like so.
Well, I think it might be this year or bust, maybe just because like Rodgers is what 41 or 42 after this year.
Yeah, so he's kind of like this needs to happen this year, and even I don't think that's going to happen.
Does he play after this year? No one knows.
No. I don't think he will.
So
because well, he picked a bad division to go to if he wanted to like win a division. He did not pick a good one. Like, I'm sorry, but like, because back when
he should have went to Tampa. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that would have been funny. Actually,
I actually think that. I don't know if the 49ers were going to do this, but they could have.
I'm glad Baker went to Tampa, though.
I think that he should have gone to San Fran, although he had no interest just because he was mad at himself from the draft. But Could have
Well,
gone there.
Well, if he went to
Is he
San Fran,
expecting-
they would have won the Super Bowl.
Well, if it was he expecting to go to San Fran?
It was rumors.
It was rumored, but I think he was still petty at him for for not drafting him #1 overall in 2006.
That's kind of stupid.
Yeah, it was because they passed up on him.
Well, no, I
Even
mean,
though
like,
if he went there, he would have had 2 or 3 rings. But,
Yeah.
like it's,
Well, you're happy he didn't go there
oh yeah, I know that's true.
yeah. Well, and
because
then
the Packers would have been fucked
Then we
over
really
by
wouldn't have
Favre.
beat him.
okay,
Yeah.
He would have been fucked over by Favre because Favre left.
yeah, to go to Minnesota.
Oh my god!
What a
Well,
shit.
no, the Jets first, and
Yeah.
now watch, guys. I have a bold prediction here. By the year 2034, or in the year 2034, Jordan Love will be the Jets quarterback.
All right. Well, this is gonna be.
Cycle will continue.
We'll be able to call you now, real quick, because let me just.
That would be funny. All 3 quarterbacks go to the Jets again.
I
Yeah,
know.
so-
I'm telling you.
Well, here's what. Since it'll be just the 3 of us, we can do our fantasy sleeper predictions for this season. Now, I had a hard time coming up with this, so I'm just gonna say pick a Bills wide receiver, like pick one of them.
Keon Coleman.
Yeah, like pick a Bills wide receiver. Any one of them doesn't matter. They've got Josh Allen throwing to him, and Josh Allen knows where to put the football.
I'd say Curtis Samuel.
All right, that's a good one. Then like
Jets, you could pick Brees Hall because he could still be a sleeper.
no, it's not a sleeper. It's only a sleeper to Ian because Ian.
He is a sleeper, AJ.
No, he's
because
not. Oh my
they-
No,
god.
he's not a
underused
sleeper.
him.
He's not a sleeper, Logan. He's like top 4 in the ESPN rankings.
Yeah, here, let's actually.
Well, he's a sleeper to Nathaniel Hackett, though.
No, that's true.
Here, let's look at the.
Well, yeah.
Oh, look at that, number 2, Brees Hall.
Well,
Yeah,
that's until
that is
until-
Logan.
hey, AJ. Until
Hey, he's
Nathaniel
so good. They
Hackett
put
has
him
something
on
to
the
Look at
say.
that, he's
front
the
of the
front of the screen.
article. They put him
Yeah.
on the front of the article. Good sleeper pick, by the way.
He's
so
I'm
good.
saying he's a
ESPN had
sleeper
him on
because of
the
Nathaniel
field.
Hackett.
He's a sleeper pick for me because I'm not even contemplating taking him because I'm still so mad.
Yeah.
I mean, Ian was going to take Saquon Barkley until I found
He's
out
a
that
okay. I'll say he's a sleeper first round pick. That's what I'll
no, Logan, second best fantasy running back.
say. Still,
God.
Brees
would,
Hall ruined my
would you
life.
pick him in the first round?
Yes, if he was there, look at him. Look at right here.
I don't
Love
give a
it.
shit. They put
Christian
they put
McCaffrey.
Bijan up
Brees
there, and
Hall.
Bijan was even top. Because
Okay, that's
fucking
because Arthur Smith is. I can't say what I was gonna say about Arthur Smith on here, but you can guess what I was gonna say. It ends with Tard. That's what Arthur Smith is.
You could say retard. It doesn't matter.
Oh well,
Yeah, I don't care.
he is a retard. So
Dude, they
yeah.
have James Cook at 13.
He's also questionable, in case you're curious.
Oh,
But like, dude, that is such a stupid ass sleeper pick. Oh my god, my sleeper pick is the second best running back. In
I'm
all of
joking.
football.
I already said my sleeper pick was Curtis Samuel.
Oh, okay, well, mine's any Bills wide receiver because they'll get points. But don't.
AJ, why would I pick Brees Hall as it? I'm not gonna
You said
pick him in
Brees
the
Hall,
first-
and then I pointed to and then Ian and I laughed, and then we pulled up an article for best running backs, and Brees
Where's
Hall
the
was
front of the
right on
cover?
the front of the article.
I was literally fucking with you because he obviously to piss Ian off.
Oh, you know what? Here's my
I
actually
hate him.
real quick. I'm going to have to hide the screen because I have another sleeper pick. He's a relatively unknown player, actually, that just kind of crossed my mind.
Alan
Aaron
Lazard.
Rodgers.
What?
I was kidding. I said Aaron Rodgers.
Ian,
Well-
it's Josh Allen.
Here's
Do
my
it.
pick. Most people don't know who this dipshit is, but you might want to consider him for your backup. Relatively unknown guy from I don't even know how you pronounce his last name, but he looks gay, so that's all that really matters. So no one's
me,
gonna take him
God.
realistically because look at this guy's face.
He's
Uh,
single and I'm single.
How do you know if he's single, Ian? I thought he wasn't.
No, he is. We can make it happen.
he does podcasts, so maybe we can get him to do ours, and maybe people will,
Oh my god.
we can get a moderate following.
I'll have to get a lot of lotion out.
What the fuck?
Well, here's what I actually will throw this out there because Aaron Rodgers, I don't know how high he's being picked, so I'll throw him out there as one just because like he'll be a good.
Okay, yeah, Aaron Rodgers for a quarterback wise.
Yeah, because like if you're gonna get somebody, I would argue like if you're like in round 2 and you're like, I want Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, your name is Ian, and congratulations on probably not making the playoffs this year if you make a dumbass decision like that. But like odds are I'd be willing to bet that he's gonna be a good backup. Like,
He look, I mean, last time he had a full season with Nathaniel Hackett and some of the guys on that Jet staff, he won MVP. He's got a great number 1 wide receiver. We'll see if he can resurrect Allen Lazard's bum career, but he might be able to because he did in Green Bay. So we'll see. And then he has, they drafted well on the offensive line. They signed Tyrone Smith. Now, granted, the issue with Tyrone Smith is he's not played a full season in 4 years. So we'll see how that goes. But
okay, so Ian, who's your sleeper pick?
mine was actually going to be Aaron Rodgers because he very well could be a top quarterback again.
Yeah.
I mean, he's not being talked about it, but we didn't know that he's a bad man and he could win MVP.
I mean, I don't think he'll win MVP, but I think he'll be.
I mean, like I don't either, but like I'm saying, like we don't know with Aaron Rodgers, and the upside is insane upside.
Yeah. So then here's what we'll end off with. I think we'll end off with like because next week we'll do the AFC South. And I'm kind of curious before we end, I kind of wanted to ask everybody, do we think Doug Peterson and the Jaguars will win a Super Bowl under his reign?
No.
Because
as long as Andy Reid's out the Chiefs, you ain't fucking winning the Super Bowl.
It's that, but I mean, like Lamar's going to win one eventually. There with Harbaugh, he's going to eventually. You're still going to have Josh Allen there. You're still going to have Joe Burrow.
I think the Bengals will eventually.
And we still have we don't know what's going to happen with Deshaun Watson. Can he get his career back on track?
Probably not.
And CJ Stroud there. He's going to win a Super Bowl eventually.
I think with Trevor Lawrence, I think they have a chance.
There's just so many other quarterbacks there that like I would bet to win a Super Bowl first before he does. Like, I bet on Jalen Hurts to win one before he does. I'd bet on Jordan Love to win one before he does.
That's fair. I guess I would honestly argue that like Doug Peterson's done it before. So I feel like he went up against Bill Belichick and won when they were in their like greatest of all time phase. So like I would argue like personally that the Jaguars at some point they're gonna have they're kind of like maybe not like maybe closer to like the Jets where they'll have like a 2-year window where like it's possible. And like even if Andy Reid, I mean, because I don't know when he plans on retiring, but like I would argue if like the Jaguars get their shit together this year, if like because we'll obviously do our predictions next week, so we'll kind of assess like where we all see the Jaguars next week. But like I personally believe that the Jaguars are probably going to be in like the next like 2 or 3 years. They're going to have like their roster kind of like what the Jets have right now, where it's like the door's open. Yeah. Like it's just a matter of can you get in. So like we'll have to see how they do this year because like and we'll get to all that next week. But for the time being, I think that's good enough for tonight. And then we'll stick around here for a little bit. But like everybody wave goodbye. We will see everybody next week for the AFC South.
Go Jets.